When you see that HBO logo, you know you're in for something good, right? High production values, a story that grabs you. Well, today we're diving into a show that absolutely fits that bill, The Nevers. Now, here's what's so cool about this. The source material basically boils it down to this killer question. What if the X-Men, people with superpowers, existed, but way back in the Victorian era? That one single idea is the engine for this entire series.
All right, so picture this. We're not in some sleek, modern world. We're on the gaslit cobblestone streets of Victorian London. A society with super strict rules, which, let's be honest, is the perfect place to drop in a little chaos.
And right at the heart of all this is a huge mystery. Like, how did these people even get their powers? It all traces back to this one single, totally bizarre event that basically changed history for a small group of people who would become known as the Touched.
Okay, so here's how it all went down. 3 years before our story even starts, this strange craft appears in the sky over London, and as it flies over, it drops these glowing particles, kind of like spores, that drift down and land on certain people. Fast forward to today, and our series picks up right in the middle of the fallout from that one crazy moment. So, the people who got these powers, they're called the Touched. But here's the kicker. The detail the source says is so important. The vast majority of them are women. Now think about it. In a super patriarchal Victorian society, suddenly giving a bunch of women extraordinary abilities, well, that's not just a neat party trick. It's a fundamental threat to the entire system. Power, property, inheritance, the whole shebang.
And this huge conflict really plays out through our main characters. The story basically boils down to 3 key figures who represent all the different forces at play here. You've got the Protector, the Establishment, and, well, pure chaos.
So first up, our hero is Amalia True. She's this visionary who's created an orphanage, a safe haven, really, for other touched people. Her power, or her turn, as they call it, is that she can see these little glimpses of the future, but they're not crystal clear visions. Nope, they're quick, jarring flashes of what's about to happen, and she has to figure them out on the fly.
And then, on the other side, you've got the opposition, represented by Lord Gilbert Masson. This guy is a classic powerful aristocrat. He's rich, he's got influence, and he sees the Touched as a total abomination, a direct threat to his world. So his goal is simple: control them, or even better, get rid of them before they can really shake things up.
And then there's the wild card, Maladie. She's one of the Touched, but don't get it twisted, she is not a hero. She's just a force of pure, violent, unpredictable chaos. She's got her own dark agenda, which makes her a huge threat to Amalia True and the establishment she hates.
The source material gives us the absolute perfect way to understand this character. It says she is, and I'm quoting here, madness personified, basically like the Joker. And I mean, come on. That one comparison tells you everything you need to know, right? The kind of unhinged, charismatic, and frankly terrifying energy she brings to the show.
Okay, so we've got these incredible characters, this amazing setup, but to really get the full picture, the source material says there are 2 key things you need to know about how the show is made and what it's really all about.
Okay, 2 things. First, the creator, Joss Whedon. The source is very upfront about the controversies surrounding him and points out that he actually left the project before it was finished. But the argument they make is that the show itself really stands on its own and is worth watching. Second, the central theme is feminism. I mean, the story is all about powerful women challenging a rigid patriarchal system, and the source makes it clear that this isn't just a side plot, it is the absolute core of the narrative.
So, with all that in mind, what's the final verdict? Well, the source is super enthusiastic about this one, and it lays out some very specific, very compelling reasons why this show is a must-watch.
All right, first up, the plot twists. The source says to get ready for not 1, but 2 major game-changing twists, the kind that will literally make you gasp out loud. Apparently, this story goes in directions you will just not see coming. At all. And that all leads up to the finale. The source describes the last episode as brilliantly confusing. And they mean that in the best way possible. It apparently starts off so unexpectedly that for a minute you're going to think you accidentally clicked on a totally different show. It's a really bold move, but it sounds like it pays off big time.
And to really seal the deal, the source points out a few other highlights. There's a totally memorable fight scene that, get this, takes place while walking on water. It drives home again that the story is completely unpredictable. Plus, there's some great behind-the-scenes stuff on some of the releases.
And here's the big one. A second season is confirmed, so this story is far from over.
So look, the source really doesn't pull any punches here. They straight up say that missing a show like this is a real crime. And when you think about it, superpowered women shaking up Victorian society, shocking plot twists, a story that's just getting started, they make a pretty convincing case. So the only question left is, what do you think? Are you going to be watching?